Welcome to the Ottawa Experts. We have a very special show for you today. I am your host, Alfonso Cuadra, speaker, entrepreneur, and real estate investor. And of course, I'm also a host of another show here on Rogers TV, Success by Design Show. You can find it on YouTube or go to rogerstv.ca. And I got a great panel here. We're talking about going from being a Wantapreneur to an entrepreneur. And we have a panel of experts. First, I want to introduce Sihem Benali. She's founder of BioSecrets and also fresh from her appearance on Dragon's Den. And I'm sure she's going to tell us a little bit about that. Here we have Jarrod Goldsmith, and a founder of ESAX, and he's a hardworking, committed, and persistence led him to making his passion, the saxophone, into a viable business. And here we have Majeed, like magic, and he is an entrepreneur, author, and world traveler. You're going to tell us about how many countries you've been to. I think it's over 20 countries. It's very impressive. He also helps entrepreneurs to leverage their passions and strengths to get paid. He also co-authored the book. We have it here, Winning at Life. And of course, the number to call is 613-728-1001. We're going to do this, guys. As people are calling, we're going to give away books. So I have my book here, From the Ground Up, 3 Steps. You're 3 steps away from living the life of your dreams. We have Majeed's book. We have 2 tickets to
the ESAX event in January.
The ESAX event. So you guys call in, and we're also going to give you
100% pure and organic argan oil.
Ooh. So call in 613-728-1001. But first, I want to know your stories, starting with Sihem. Tell us your story of how you got to, launching this beautiful product right here.
Well, the argan oil comes from my region and my culture. I'm born and raised in North Africa, and in Africa we are poor and we use only what Mother Nature provides. In 2003, after escaping the Algerian Civil War, I arrived here in Canada. And at the beginning, I started having skin problem and skin condition that I never had in my native country.
Was it the weather?
It was a mix of the weather, the new weather, the cold, but mainly because when I arrived, I was so overwhelmed with all the modern skincare that you can find on the shelf. And I was using, some product that wasn't, good for my skin.
We won't mention the product.
No, it's just, let's put it, modern cosmetics. And then, I just decided to stop and go back to my argan oil routine, something that I have always used. But I noticed that, skin problem, a skin condition, allergy is something very, very common here in Canada. So in 2012, after being laid off from a major bank I was working for, I just decided that it was time for me to have more control on my life and to realize my dream. So I started BioSecret by cashing my RSPs. It was my retirement saving. It was all that I had, because obviously the bank don't lend to you when you're a startup. So I took the chance and I started BioSecret. I started in Ottawa, so I am in a lot of natural health food store in Ottawa, and then I made the big plunge, and I went on Dragon's Den, which was a big success.
Yeah, and I heard you made them cry.
Yes.
And you got them to invest, which is really hard to do that. And I mean, they're really tough. They want you to have numbers and things. Exactly. So you did your homework. Thank you for that. Now, Jarrod, you turned a saxophone, which someone would say it's a hobby, into a business.
Yeah, Alfonso, so many people pursue music on the side. They think they've been hearing their whole life, it's tough, get a real job. Are you crazy? Music? Really? Well, most people know that music's a tough career. But I decided, after having bounced around government for about 10 years since I moved to Ottawa, contracts, 8 months there, I'd go on EI. 6 months there, I'd go on EI. A year here. After about 10 years of that, I said, enough's enough. I'm going to go into music, having played for almost 30 years. And I realized I didn't know anything about marketing or branding or what an entrepreneur actually does. It just seemed like the right thing to do, a good time in my life to do it. So I went all in, and I decided to get the word out about starting up a business, a rather unique type of ensemble like I had of saxophones.
So you have, it's a quartet, right?
Yes, we're only made up of saxophone players.
Wow.
Called Sax Appeal.
Yeah.
And I needed to do a lot of networking, entrepreneur networking, and that's how my other business, ESAX, developed was to bring entrepreneurs together, primarily startups, to help them network more effectively.
Good. And Majeed, he knows about winning at life. He also helps people start up. The same thing, how you started up, he helps people transition from that. So, Majeed, how did you get started?
Well, I've been an entrepreneur as long as I can remember, ever since my mom paid me $5 to clean my room. I thought, gee, if I only had
She
more
was your first
rooms.
client.
That's right, my first client, exactly. And ever since then, from the first business that I bought and I grew it and I sold it, I had more money than I ever had before as a 16-year-old kid. I started traveling, and so I bought a one-way ticket into South America and traveled all the way through and basically ran out of money and just had enough money to come home, and I thought that was awesome. Let's start another business and do that again. Ended up buying a business or starting a business, selling it and traveling and coming home until I had actually been to about 24 countries before I was 21, and now I asked myself, how can I go to a cool place that I want to travel to and come back with more money than I left with, right? So now my business is speaking and training and coaching, where I can go to an interesting place and do some work and come back. So what I help entrepreneurs do is leverage their strengths and their passion to get paid to do what they love, and teach them that entrepreneurship can be fun and easy when you're doing what you're strong at and you're following your passion and surrounding yourself by people who enjoy and are passionate about the things that you're not quite as good at.
Yeah, that's a good point, Majeed, because a lot of people, they're passionate about a lot of things, but they're not necessarily strong in those industries, right? Maybe they, someone likes, has a passion for baking, but maybe they don't have the acumen to take them to the next level as a business, as a viable business. For example, if I wanted to start a saxophone quartet, I don't think I would get very far. Maybe on Rideau Street playing all kinds of music, but I'm sure nobody would want to hear my. Actually, maybe I would make a business. People would pay me not to play the saxophone.
Well, any business, you have to know your market, and you have to know it.
Yeah.
But it's another thing to know what to do as an entrepreneur.
So this is the question I want to ask you guys, because a lot of people want to be entrepreneurs. That's where we're talking about the Wantapreneur. And what happens? They have this idea, they have their passion, and they read all the books, they went to all the seminars, they've heard all these speakers, they went to all the networking, and now they have their office. Everybody's sitting in the office. They spend thousands and thousands on their office. And from my point of view, they're just playing office. People just playing office. What really takes for that person to get that business off the ground? Because from inside your office, nothing's going to happen, right? I mean, people, they have this, they have admin, they have to have this, they have to have the view. But where's the business? Where's the money being made? Are you just burning through money? So there's a term in business called burn rate. How much money are you burning, right? At what rate? So we'll start with Sihem.
I think the most important is to have clients, because the DNA of the business is profit. If there is no profit, there is no business. And to have profit, you have to make sales. And to have sales, you have to have client. So in my case, I started, on the ground, and I went knocking on doors, and I have only my argan oil and how I call it, my crooked English, because it's my third language. And I was so scared to go approach stores and present to them my product, because it's not something that I have created. It's true, it's already on the market. However, mine, it's related to my story, and I come from the region and explain what is the differences on the market. And I was so passionate that people believe in me and give me, a chance and say, okay, we are going to put it on shelf. Give us maybe 5 or 6, and we go from there. And then I say, okay, I'm going to work with you guys. I'm going to the store and do demo and talk about it and spread the word about it. And this is how it starts. So it picked up in one store, and then in the second store, and the second store, and now I am only in Ottawa in 40 stores.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we're talking about from being a Wantapreneur to an entrepreneur. And the question was, how do you get from people thinking that they have to have this big office and the admin and the HR department and they haven't made a sale yet, right? So Sihem says she went knocking on doors. So what keeps people from knocking on doors?
I think it's a great term, Wantapreneur. There's so many people who have the day job thinking, when I retire, I'll do what I really want to do and become an entrepreneur, and this is my idea. You both touched on it. Passion. to me, if you really want to become a successful entrepreneur, you have to have that spark, that passion that people are going to buy into. Because it's one thing to have the next best idea out there, but who's going to buy into it? People buy into people.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
knocking on doors and connecting with people, they're going to initially buy your products or services because they trust, they like, and they respect you. It takes time to build that. So to me, the number one thing of an entrepreneur is passion. It has to come across that you love what you do, you're made for that business.
Majeed?
The difference between a wantrepreneur and an entrepreneur is an entrepreneur has customers. And as Sihem said, the most important thing is clients, customers, right? And customers are people that have a problem that they're willing to pay you to solve. So most people, they want to wait until they're ready. And if you ever had kids, I ask people, when do you know you're ready? They say, you're never ready to have kids, but the sooner is better, right? And you're never ready to start your business. There's always 1,000 things you could or should be doing. But the one thing to do is find people that have a problem that you can solve and they'll pay you for. Those are called customers. That's the difference between a wantrepreneur and an entrepreneur.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, do you, from your perspective, can you learn to be an entrepreneur in a university, for example? And is there, or does that kind of make you more of a technical person and thinking about what could happen? And does that get in the way of being an entrepreneur? So
I can tell you, I have a degree in entrepreneurial sciences. This is what I studied in university. And I can tell you that does not prepare you for business. Getting into business is not a process of learning, it's a process of unlearning. And the most important thing to unlearn is that failure is a big problem. Entrepreneurs know that failure means I tried something that didn't work, I have more information, and now I can try again. And the faster I try the next thing, and the more I learn from that thing and try again and get better and prototype and improve, that's the shortest path to success. But most people, like I said earlier, wait until they're ready. Wait until it's perfect. And if you've waited until it's perfect, you've waited far too long, right? And the market's moved and your customers have changed. So you have to unlearn bad habits that you've learned, a lot of work habits like I got to work from 9 in the morning until 5 at night and I have to go to a place called an office and I have to have a desk and all these things you're unlearning to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah. You see, I'm not ready because the phone should have been on my, I'm left-handed, but the phone was on the right-hand side. So I can't call customers if the phone, so I have to redo my whole office until, you know, so everybody spends their whole life getting ready. So what is the impact that entrepreneurs have on the world? Sihem?
You can inspire people.
Inspire people, of course, yeah.
Yeah. Show them that it's possible. That if you have a passion about a service or a product that can, you know, fulfill a need and make a change.
You have a unique product because it's kind of like a social enterprise. Yeah. You do have profit, but you're also contributing something to society. So it's a unique business model that a lot of people are taking that model lately, which is good. Entrepreneurs are changing the world that way.
If you can make money while making a difference, I think that it's perfect. Like Arlene Dickinson was asking me, is it charity? Do you give a portion, you know, to those lady who works in the cooperative back in Morocco? And I said, there is nothing to do with charity. It's all about empowering. Those women are very, very proud and they want work. They want hard work, they want dignity, they don't want charity. And by sourcing my all from them, buying from them, it gives them income and they have back their dignity. Yeah. So this is what it's important, and this is why I say the argan oil make you feel beautiful from the inside out.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. No, of course, I mean, making a difference. Okay, we're going into commercial real soon. I'm just going to give you guys a number. When you come back, you can call 613-728-1001. 613-728-1001. Of course, if you call in the first caller, we'll get a copy of my book. Second caller, we'll get Majeed's book. Third caller, we'll get the tickets. And the fourth caller will get the bioproducts. We'll be back.
The following program is brought to you by Rogers Anyplace TV. Enjoy exclusive content for free. Visit RogersAnyplaceTV.com.
He's in the clear. Score!
Are you in a long-distance relationship with your favorite team? NHL Center Ice can bring you closer. Watch up to 37 out-of-market NHL games per week so you can catch the games that matter to you. Don't wait for the highlights. See every big moment as it happens. NHL Center Ice. The game lives where you do. Eligible Rogers TV and Internet customers enjoy free access to NHL Center Ice. Start watching today.
Tuesday's daytime. Julie Buin is my guest co-host again on the show, and we're going to be talking about Whole Foods. A lot of people are excited about it coming to town, so we're going to find out what the buzz is all about. We're also joined by Julien Bazinet. He is a sommelier and represents a number of different wineries. He's going to be telling us about the partnership that they have with Graffiti's doing a Ruffino wine dinner, a great wine pairing dinner. And Adam Dufresne, who is a professional business coach, is going to tell us about how you can succeed on your New Year's resolutions.
We're lucky to have awesome waters just teeming with great tasting fish. That's a pleasure. So join me on my new series where I'll show you how to create a great tasting dish with local fish. Roger's new series, Catch the Kitchen.
We're back. And we're talking to entrepreneur experts. Of course, the number to call, 613-728-1001, 613-728-1001, and you have the opportunity to win some books. And, you know, we were talking earlier, what's going to take to be an entrepreneur? Well, if you get, if you read our books and go to the things and have these products, maybe you can you'll be one step closer. But the question that I wanted to ask you guys, because we're talking about going from being an Wantapreneur to an entrepreneur. This idea that people, they're afraid to leave their paycheck, and that's something that really can have a strong effect of whether someone's going to be successful or not. So we'll start over here with Majeed. Can you tell us, what is this need to have this paycheck? Are we a slave to the bills because, the mortgage is paid on the first, the telephone bill is on the first, the car payment, and what's going to happen if I don't have money at the end of the month, right? So
sure, definitely. Well, the more payments you have, of course, the more you feel trapped financially, that you got to stay on the hamster wheel, make the money, pay the money, make the money, pay the money. And we have this brain, basically it's the same brain we've had for thousands of years, that says security equals survival. And for most people, a consistent paycheck means security. But what you don't realize is you have one product, which is you're renting your brain out for 40 hours a week, and you have one customer, which is your employer, right? If you were starting a business with one product and one customer, that would be considered a very risky business. Mm-hmm. So most people think business is risky, but if you think about having dozens or hundreds of customers and different income sources, you're actually very diversified from risk. If you lose one customer or two customers, it's not like when you lose your one customer as an employee and you lose all of your paycheck. So you can actually be diversifying your risk as an entrepreneur and not be at the risk of, if someone wants to lay you off to be more efficient for their business, you lose 100% of your income and customer.
Yeah, Jarrod?
Well, it's, everybody has to make do. They have bills to pay. Some people can rely on their significant other, their spouse, to make ends meet while they pursue their passion. But if you don't take the leap, it's always difficult what ifs. So at the end of your life, you don't want to discover, oh, I should have done this 10 years ago. Well, there's an ancient Chinese proverb. The best time to plant a tree was when? 20 years ago. Yeah, yesterday, yeah. Next best time is now.
Yeah.
So I say, yes, it's scary. Doesn't matter what you're going into, it's scary to start a business. It may or may not work, so that's why you have to do a lot of research ahead of time. See who your clients are. Are there clients for you? Is it novel? Is it something unique? But hang around other entrepreneurs, because other entrepreneurs, they get it. And it's very empowering. It's very enthusiastic to be around people who are going through the same issues as you are.
Yeah. And also you can trade ideas and things like that. Sihem?
Me, I think it's a matter of choice. You have to decide. Do you want to be 9 to 5 all your life, or you want to take the risk and follow your dreams? Of course, there is nothing guaranteed. even when you are 9 to 5, there is nothing guaranteed. Tomorrow you can be laid off, and it happened to us. Yeah. So if you're willing, you know, to take control of your life, I think that the risk is worthy. It's not going to be easy. It's a lot of hard work. There is no security net. However, I think that it's worth it, because if it works, it works. So I think that the risk is definitively worth it.
And initially you're going from a 9 to 5 job that you left to a 9 to 9 job for quite some time.
So what if someone's
excuse me, you do it for yourself, no more for an employer.
And everything you're doing, you know it's going to pay off in 3 or 4 years from now. Because it's for you.
Now, there was someone that wrote in, and there was a question. Do you remember the question? We were doing this social media thing yesterday. We're asking people to give us some questions.
Oh yeah, and it was something we just touched upon. Yeah. I have all these bills to pay. It's very time consuming for me to go to these events. I know I need to network. I know I need to hear these sessions or buy books. Yeah. But I have to make ends meet. How do I juggle that?
Yeah, so you guys, you want to touch on that?
Yeah, so...
How do you juggle? How do you be, I got to pick up you have a client, but you got to pick up your kid at 4, and then you have to go over there for soccer practice, and then, you got all this life happening around you. How do you, get it all together and juggle it all and become, to ultimately reach that success?
Sure. So Jarrod's a networking pro, and if you go to a networking event in Ottawa, you're going to see Jarrod. Jarrod's got
you can't miss the hat.
No, I'm the guy.
But I bet if you looked at all the events that Jarrod went to in the last year, you could take 20% of those events and show 80% of his results. And this is the 80-20 rule, right? 20% of your clothes in your closet you wear 80% of the time. 20% of your customers produce 80% of your revenue. So if you want to become more efficient with your time, you look at all the things you're doing and say, what are the fewest things that are producing the most results? And you do the same in your personal life. So if you think about, if I want to spend quality time with my family, what are the few things I do with my family that really make great memories and make an impact in my relationships, and be there 100% with them on those? And who are the few of my clients that I really need to focus on and grow those relationships? And what are the few of my activities that I'm doing to build sales and do marketing that are going to make the biggest impact? And so you can't do everything. And a creative entrepreneur has so many ideas, and that's what's overwhelming about being in business. But if you start to get strategic and think, what are the fewest things that make the biggest impact, that's how you have some sanity.
Yeah, that's great. Now we have a caller, I think. Was that right? Louis, on line 1, you have a question?
Well, yeah, hi, I have a question.
Okay.
Hi, yeah, the question is, if I have a great idea, but funding sometimes is an issue. So how would it be about getting at least a little bit of money to start up my business?
Funds, right? Everybody has problems with funds. We'll start with Sihem. Oh, go on Dragon's Den, by the way. Sihem, that was a good part for you, but okay. Louis wants to know.
Yeah, it's very, very tough to have funding from banks, for example. But I know there is so many programs out there. There is a lot of grants. So I don't know in which field you want to start your business, but there is a lot of grants, and people don't know about it. And money is sitting, just waiting, to be given to entrepreneurs. So you might do some research, and maybe it will be something for you.
Yeah, and if you're anybody in the arts, there's some great arts councils around Ottawa, and there's somebody on staff to help people find applicable grants that would be work for you.
Is there some grants that you might qualify? Is there a time, like an age limit, things like that?
There's so many different grants. Yeah. Every grant has a different requirement. Yeah. Yeah. So it takes the time to find out what's applicable to your specific situation. Yeah. But don't be afraid to get out there and look.
Majeed is probably he's an expert at this, giving money. He wants to give, Majeed wants to give money to you, okay?
Yeah, Louis, as a matter of fact, I have a client in Ottawa called Invest Ottawa, and they give money to entrepreneurs just like you. And it's actually not the easiest thing to do, because we need to only give money to businesses that have a plan, that show proof that they're going to grow their business and be successful. Getting grants is not actually that easy. And so you want to ask yourself this, Louis, would you lend you money? Would you lend this business money? Would you invest in this business? I'll tell you the best source of capital is always going to be customers. If you can sell whatever it is that you're selling before it's even built, you're going to have money coming in, and you're going to have people vested in the outcome of you actually developing the thing that you need to develop. So now it's you got to do it or don't. In fact, this book, I was almost finished writing it, and then I started selling it. And I sold about 50 copies of it, and I said, I better finish it now, right? Because now you've collected money from customers, and that money paid for the design of the cover and the editing and the first print run, because I was, that's how I was going to raise money. I wasn't going to go ask for a grant. I wasn't going to go ask for a loan. So go to customers, collect what you need, so before you sell the thing, then develop it and produce it.
And we also have things like Quick Starter, right? I mean, you're selling your product before you even launch it. You're gaining, you're getting investors to invest in you making the product for them.
Thank you very much. I think it's been very helpful.
Thank you, Louis.
Good luck,
Thank you so much. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Take care.
So that's a good point, you know, the money. But what other tools are available to entrepreneurs? Because if someone's watching right now, and you know they're sitting there, they're like, yes, I want to get started on this, like, you know, but where do I go? What are some of the tools that you know specifically that can help someone out there?
Well, if it's a product and you're developing something, you have to watch the intellectual properties. Because if you go for a copyright or trademark, it could take a year or two to get done and finalized. So if you're coming up with a great idea, you want to finish it before other people come up with the idea, talk to a lawyer, talk to somebody who's specialized in that to protect your property, your intellectual property.
Yeah, so talk to a lawyer.
And as a matter of fact, Invest Ottawa, they give you free access to lawyers and accountants to get that kind of advice. This book, once again, I'll tell you, to do the design of the cover and the spine and the back, there was a local provider who quoted me $5,000. And I didn't know if it was that high or is that low, but I went to a website called elance.com, and it's a marketplace for people all around the world to bid, and I said, I need this design done, and I got bids coming in at $5,000, but then I got coming in at $4,000 and $3,000, and I gave the job to this Greek woman with 3 kids, spoke great English, does great work, full portfolio. Guess how much I paid her? $143.
Wow. Wow.
And she said, thank you very much, and that's a month's salary for me, and
Yeah.
she did a great job. The world is the marketplace today. And if you got to look outside the border, and as much as I like to support local business, you can't compare 5,000 and 143. So elance.com and odesk.com, and there's another one called Fiverr, F-I-V-E-R-R.
I love Fiverr,
Yeah.
yeah.
2 R's, F-I-V-E-R-R. You need a logo done, boom, $5, 24 hours, the logo's done. You need a website done, $5, 24 hours, it's done. So quick and getting people online to do stuff that normally would take thousands of dollars.
Sihem, you have anything, any tips for people, like tools? Go on Dragon's Den. Give us a little bit how you did it. Tell us how you did it. Dragon's Den, we want to know. People out there want to know.
Stories from the den.
Yeah, people ask me, how did you go on Dragon's Den? And I say, well, I went to the audition. First of all.
You know why? You just showed up, right? 90% is just showing up.
That's it.
Yeah, go and, you know, try. You have nothing to lose. And I think talking about mindset, this is very important. Say you have nothing to lose. Going to Dragon's Den audition, is it going to cost you money? No, it's here in Ottawa. They stop, you know, in major cities across Canada. And I say, okay, if they take me, fine. If they don't take me, at least it was fun. So I went for fun and I end up saying, hey, you made it to the second tour, so be ready, come to Toronto. I think that it's very important that, you know, you go forward and you say, worst case scenario, it doesn't work, so what?
Exactly.
And this was my mindset when I started my business, for example, when people say, are you crazy? You just lost your job, go find another job. You have, you know, rent to pay, you have food to put on the table. And I say, listen, guys, this is my risk. This is my dream. If it works, fine. If it doesn't work, am I going to starve? Am I going to die? No. Like, honestly, we live in a country where you will not die of hunger. Worst case scenario, you go and you work at McDonald's. Worst case scenario. So just go do it. And if you work hard, it will work. If it doesn't work, at least, you know, you will grow from your experience.
We're just going to go to a break. We're going to come back and talk more to entrepreneurs, more after this.
Hi guys, I'm Dr. James Emmett, host and creator of the TV show Man Talk, a show dedicated to your health and well-being, talking about stuff the guys just don't talk about. Be authentic, be original, be extraordinary, every day.
There is evil in this world. Hatred and revenge.
What have you ever done that's that cool?
I watched Neil Armstrong walk on the moon.
On his bike?
We don't know who it is.
No, we don't know who it is.
That's you.
Doesn't sound anything like me.
It's not you.
It isn't a party until the Rogers TV Tim Hortons Community Cruiser is on the scene. Hot coffee, tasty treats, and awesome prizes.
Hi, my name's Kathy, and I'm here today at the Mad Dash event raising money and funds for Mothers Against Drunk Driving. And we're on
Rogers TV! Where will the cruiser be next? Maybe at your event. Log on to rogerstv.com and find out how. Meanwhile, keep your eyes on Rogers for more cruiser moments.
The following program is brought to you by Rogers Anyplace TV. Enjoy exclusive content for free. Visit rogersanyplacetv.com.
We're back and we're talking to entrepreneurs. Actually, the theme for the evening is how to go from being a wantrepreneur to an entrepreneur. And we have a panel of experts here. Of course, we are giving some stuff away. Please write the number down, 613-728-1001, 613-728-1001. And of course, we gave my book, From the Ground Up, but the next caller will get Winning at Life by Majeed. The third caller will receive a ticket to this. Can you just tell us a little bit about this event?
Oh, the Entrepreneur Social Advantage Experience. Large entrepreneurial networking events for wantrepreneurs and startups.
So if you're an entrepreneur, if there's a chance that if you go to this event, you become an entrepreneur.
There's a chance because you're connecting with other like-minded people and chambers of commerce.
Nice.
They're all in the room.
Nice. Can you tell us a little bit about the book that they will win if they call?
Winning at Life is your personal success guide, how to figure out what you want to do with your life and make a plan to make it happen.
And I just want to say I like the logo here. You know, you got the...
I'm not wearing the, I'm not wearing it under this one, but Superman's my hero.
So if you guys want some of these prizes, 613-728-1001, ask the question to our experts. And we are talking about going from being a wantrepreneur into becoming an entrepreneur, and where we're talking about tips and things. And we want to know, what is your secret sauce? What is your sauce? What is that thing that makes you, you know, that you think that's what, you know, gives you the edge?